What if I told you that 90% of people are making the same mistakes with money every single day without even knowing it? And here's the proof. According to the World Inequality Report 2026, the top 1% of Americans now own 31.7% of all wealth in the United States. That is the highest concentration of wealth ever recorded since the Federal Reserve began tracking it in 1989. Meanwhile, the bottom 90% of Americans collectively own less wealth than that same top 1%. Let that sink in. And the scary part is that most people think they are doing everything right. They go to work, they pay their bills, they maybe even put a little bit of money in savings every month. But somehow, no matter how hard they work, they never seem to get ahead. If that sounds familiar, this video is going to change the way you think about money forever. My name's Dolly, and today I'm going to show you exactly why 90% of people will never be rich. And more importantly, what you can do right now in 2026 to make sure you're in the other 10%. Let's start with the biggest mistake most people make. They only trade time for money. Think about that for a second. Every single day, millions of people wake up, go to a job, work for 8 hours, and get paid for those 8 hours. The moment they stop working, the money stops coming in. And that's the trap. Because there are only 24 hours in a day, there is a hard limit on how much money you can ever make this way. Here's what the data shows. According to Federal Reserve data from 2025, the top 10% of income earners now account for nearly half of all consumer spending in America. Why? Because wealthy people build multiple income streams. They invest in stocks, real estate, and businesses that pay them whether they are working, sleeping, or sitting on a beach. This is called passive income, and it's the foundation of real wealth in 2026. The second reason 90% of people never get rich is lifestyle inflation. Here's exactly how it works. You get a raise at work. Amazing, right? But instead of investing that extra money, you upgrade your car, move to a bigger apartment, start eating out more. Your lifestyle grows to match your income, and you end up saving exactly the same amount as before. Studies show that the average American saves less than 5% of their income. Meanwhile, the top 1% saves and invests over 38% of what they earn. Rich people do the opposite of lifestyle inflation. When they make more money, they keep their lifestyle the same and invest the difference. This single habit alone is responsible for more wealth creation than almost anything else. The third mistake is having zero financial education. And this is not your fault. Schools teach you history, science, and math, but nobody teaches you how money actually works. Nobody teaches you about compound interest, index funds, or tax-advantaged accounts. So most people just copy what their parents did, spend everything they earn and hope things work out. But here is a shocking statistic. According to the 2026 World Inequality Report, the wealthiest 0.001% of the population, which is fewer than 60,000 people, now owns 3 times more wealth than the entire bottom half of humanity combined. And the number one thing separating those people from everyone else is financial knowledge. The good news is that in 2026, all of this information is completely free. YouTube, books, podcasts. There has never been a better time in history to educate yourself about money. The only question is whether you are willing to do it. The fourth reason is bad debt. There is a difference between good debt and bad debt. Good debt helps you build wealth, like a mortgage on a property that grows in value. Bad debt makes you poorer, like credit card debt. Right now in 2026, the average American credit card interest rate has climbed to over 22% annually. That means if you carry $5,000 in credit card debt, You are paying over $1,100 every single year in interest alone. Money that could have been invested and compounding for your future. The Federal Reserve reports that Americans collectively owe over $1.2 trillion in credit card debt right now. That is $1.2 trillion being transferred from regular people to banks every single year in interest payments. If you have high interest debt right now, eliminating it is the single best investment you can make, a guaranteed 22% return with no stock market needed. The fifth mistake is waiting for the right time to start investing, waiting until they have more money, waiting until the market calms down. But here is the brutal truth. There is never a perfect time. The S&P 500 has survived every single crash in history and kept going up. From the 2008 financial crisis to the 2020 pandemic crash to every recession in between, it always recovered and hit new highs. Someone who started investing $200 a month at age 25 will retire with over $1 million at age 65, assuming a 10% average annual return. Someone who waits until 35 to do the exact same thing will retire with only $380,000. Same $200 a month. A $620,000 difference. Just from waiting 10 years. Time is the most valuable asset you have, and most people waste it waiting for a perfect moment that never comes. The sixth reason is that most people have no clear financial goals. They have a vague idea that they want to be comfortable or have enough money someday. But comfortable and someday are not goals. They are wishes. Studies consistently show that people who write down specific financial goals are significantly more likely to achieve them than people who don't. Rich people set goals like, I want $500,000 invested by age 45, or I want to pay off all my debt in 18 months, or I want to save $20,000 this year. When you have a specific goal, you build a specific plan. And when you have a specific plan, you take specific action. And specific action is the only thing that actually changes your financial life. The seventh and final reason is the most important one. Most people never actually start. They watch videos like this one, they feel motivated for a day or two, and then they go back to exactly the same habits. Because information without action is worthless. You can know everything about investing and still be broke if you never actually do anything about it. The 10% who build real wealth are not smarter than everyone else. They are not luckier. They just take action. They open the account, they set up the automatic transfer, they make the plan and actually follow it. And they do it even when it's uncomfortable, even when they're scared, and even when they don't feel ready. So let me give you a simple action plan right now. Number 1, stop trading only time for money and find one way to build a passive income stream. Number 2, the next time you get a raise, invest at least half of it instead of upgrading your lifestyle. Number 3, spend 30 minutes a week learning about personal finance. Number 4, if you have bad debt at 22% interest, make paying it off your number 1 financial priority right now. Number 5, start investing today, even if it's just $50 a month. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Number 6, write down one specific financial goal with a specific deadline. And number 7, take action. Because knowing all of this means absolutely nothing if you don't actually do something about it. Here is the reality of 2026. The top 1% just hit their highest share of American wealth in recorded history. The wealth gap is wider than it has ever been. And it is only going to keep growing for people who don't take control of their finances. But here's the thing. The tools to build wealth have never been more accessible. You can open a Roth IRA in 10 minutes for free. You can invest in the S&P 500 with as little as $1. You can learn everything about personal finance for free on YouTube. The difference between the 10% and the 90% is not intelligence, not luck, and not how much money they started with. It is simply the decision to take control and actually do something about it. And if you are watching this video right now, you already have an advantage over most people because you are actually trying to learn. So make this the day you stop being part of the 90%. If this video helped you, hit that like button and subscribe, because Uncle Dolly drops new videos every week that will completely change the way you think about money. And comment below. Which of these 7 mistakes have you been making? I read every single comment. See you in the next one.